Y'all, this man literally stabbed another man over a bottle of freaking hot sauce. No joke. An argument about a bottle of hot sauce in Colorado reportedly turned deadly over the weekend, and it left one man dead and another in jail. 19-year-old George Vigil has been charged with murder in the second degree. Several aspects of this case are not quite known, but in the end, police said that someone that the suspect knew was stabbed to death. The incident reportedly occurred at a residence near the Mile High Stadium, which is the home of the Denver Broncos NFL football team. On Sunday night at around 5:22 p.m., a call to 911 was made regarding a stabbing. The woman who called the dispatcher said, "Hello, I have someone stabbed." The dispatcher said that voices could be heard yelling in the background of the call. The caller then said she was with two men and a woman, and one of the men had a knife. She then said that one of the men was stabbed on the left side of his ribs, and then she said, "I need somebody here right away," and then she continued to plead for help. She said, "We need an ambulance here right away, right now. Right now, he's bleeding to death, please." The dispatcher then asked the caller who stabbed the victim, and the caller then replied with the suspect's full name, which was George Vigil. When officers got there, they checked out the scene while medical personnel were helping the victim who was stabbed. The victim reportedly had two separate sharp force injuries, and that included a stab wound to the left side of his rib cage and the left side of his back. He was eventually taken to a local hospital, but unfortunately he ended up dying from his injuries, and he was pronounced deceased at 5:59 p.m. Reportedly, George's hands and clothes were covered in blood, and he had no open or bleeding injuries on his body. It was said George asked for an attorney as officers were arresting him and taking him to the patrol vehicle. A witness reportedly told detectives that the victim had some sort of relationship with George, and earlier that same evening, the victim had arrived to visit like he normally does more than once a week, and that was to check on someone or something at the residence. He would do that like once a week. The witness then said that the argument and the violence was over a freaking bottle of hot sauce, or the location of a bottle of hot sauce. Reportedly, the man, the victim who was stabbed, wanted to make a sandwich and asked where the hot sauce was, and George replied that it was upstairs in his bedroom. An argument then started between family members about the location of the freaking bottle of hot sauce, and that resulted in two people having to physically separate George and the victim. This was before the stabbing. I guess they were like physically fighting at first. It was said that the victim had made statements to George about fighting, saying things like, "Let's take this outside." And when the victim began approaching George again, the witness said that she saw George swing an arm, and they believe that that was one of the fatal blows when he stabbed the victim. The witness also reportedly told police that George often carried a switchblade type knife in his front pants pocket. They said the victim then fell to the ground and started bleeding profusely, so that's why they called 911. Reportedly, George first appeared in court on Monday, and he was ordered to be detained without bond. This is absolutely nuts. People have got to stop pulling out weapons during arguments. What happened to just arguing with words? I just don't get it. My heart and prayers go out to all who knew and loved the victim. The name has not been identified, so I'm not sure of the victim's name. All over a bottle of freaking hot sauce. For more true crime, don't forget to give me a follow and visit my website at www.truecrimewithmegan.com.